Good afternoon, students. This is the calcaneum or calcaneus. Side determination will be you have to hold the calcaneus in this way, in which there will be dorsal surface here. You see a sulcus, and on the medial side there will be a projection. This projection, sustentaculum tali. The name of this projection should be medially. Anteriorly, there is this facet, concavo-convex articular facet for cuboid bone. Posteriorly, this is the surface where upper one third will be smooth and the lower part will be rough surface. So when we hold the calcaneus in this position, in which anteriorly cuboid, articulation with cuboid bone, this facet, medially this is the projection, and superiorly this is the articular facet, and this is the sulcus calcanei. So this bone which I am holding is of right side. Now, the bony landmarks. In the bony landmarks, this calcaneum bone will have anterior surface, once again, concavo-convex for articulation with cuboid. Then it will have dorsal surface. The dorsal surface is divided into posterior, which is non-articular. In the middle part, there is a facet. This is the posterior calcanean facet. And this posterior calcanean facet will articulate with the facet present on inferior surface of the body of talus to form which joint? Subtalar joint. So this is the posterior calcanean facet. And in the anterior one third, this much, we are having on the medial, these are the two articular facets, and on the lateral, this is the non-articular area. So on the anterior one third, the two facets, this facet will be known as the middle calcanean facet, and anteriorly this facet is known as the anterior calcanean facet. So this middle calcanean facet will articulate with the posterior facet present on talus, and the anterior facet of calcaneum, this one, will articulate with that of the anterolateral facet present on the talus. Now please note down that the facets present on talus, which are articulating with this middle calcanean facet and anterior calcanean facet, those two facets present on talus, which are respectively known as the posterior talar facet and anterolateral talar facet, those two are present on the inferior surface of the head of the talus, which we have discussed during talus bone. So therefore, let me make it clear once again, three facets. In the middle one third, this is the articular facet, which is called posterior calcanean facet here, for articulation with the facet present on inferior surface of the body of talus. Remaining these two facets, this will be known as the middle facet, middle calcanean facet, and this will be known as the anterior calcanean facet. Now, here, this is the sulcus calcanei, which will come in apposition with sulcus tali to form the sinus tarsi. A tunnel will be formed, which will be known as sinus tarsi, between the sulcus tali above and sulcus calcanei below. Then we come to posterior surface. So here, in this posterior surface, you are able to see that it is divided into upper, middle, and posterior. Upper one third will be smooth, middle one third, and lower one third here will be rough. Then we come across to the lateral surface. Lateral surface will have presence here of a small, very small tubercle, which is called peroneal trochlea. And above there is a groove, and below there is a groove. This groove will be for the passage of peroneus brevis tendon, and below the groove for passage of peroneus longus tendon. And on the peroneal trochlea, this tubercle, there will be attachment of the inferior stem of peroneal retinacula, that is inferior peroneal retinaculum. Similarly, we come across to inferior surface. Three prominent tubercles you have to see: medial tubercle, lateral tubercle, anterior tubercle. Medial tubercle, lateral tubercle, anterior tubercle. These are the three tubercles present on the inferior surface of the calcaneus. And then we come to the last surface, medial surface. Now medial surface here, this is the projection, sustentaculum tali. And this sustentaculum tali, this upper margin or upper facet will help in formation of talocalcaneonavicular joint. So here we finish the bony landmarks, bony features. Now we come across to attachments which are very, very interesting. We start with the dorsal surface. In the dorsal surface, the posterior 1/3, this much is non-articular. Attachments on the anterior 1/3 of the dorsal surface, the area this is which is non-articular, this area. First, there will be attachment of the stem of inferior extensor retinaculum. Second, there will be attachment of the stem of the bifurcate ligament. And third, there will be attachment of extensor digitorum brevis muscle. Then we have this sulcus calcanei. On this sulcus calcaneum, there will be attachment of the lateral to medial cervical and interosseous part of talocalcanean ligaments. So altogether, there are 5 attachments on the dorsal surface. First 3 attachments will be here, which is present on the non-articular area. Number 1, stem of inferior extensor retinaculum. Number 2, the stem of the bifurcate ligament. And number 3, there will be attachment of the extensor digitorum brevis muscle. Then 4th and 5th attachments will be on the sulcus calcanei, that is cervical and interosseous talocalcanean ligament, which will be reciprocally attached to the sinus tarsi above. So here, these are the attachments on the dorsal surface. We go to the posterior surface. Posterior surface, middle 1/3, there will be attachment of tendocalcaneus and medial to it plantaris. So on the posterior surface, middle 1/3, tendocalcaneus and plantaris. In the upper 1/3, there will be presence of bursa, and in the lower 1/3, there will be presence of fibrofatty tissue, which will protect the heel during standing position. Then we come to the lateral surface. Lateral surface, as I told you, peroneal trochlea, which will provide attachment to the inferior peroneal retinaculum, and above there is a groove for passage of the peroneus brevis tendon, and lower down there is groove for passage of peroneus longus tendon. And just 1 or 2 centimeter behind this peroneal tubercle, here there will be attachment of calcaneofibular ligament. Calcaneofibular ligament. Here we finish the attachments on the lateral surface. 3 surfaces we have finished: dorsal surface, posterior surface, and lateral surface. Now we go to the inferior surface. Inferior surface, very interesting. We start with medial tubercle. Now this medial tubercle will provide attachment to number 1, flexor retinaculum, number 2, abductor hallucis muscle, and there will be attachment of flexor digitorum brevis. Here it will extend to the space between medial and lateral tubercle, and also there will be attachment of the plantar aponeurosis. So there will be attachment of these 4 structures on the medial tubercle. Then we go to the lateral tubercle. There will be attachment of abductor digiti minimi. Now abductor digiti minimi is attached on the lateral tubercle. In front of lateral tubercle, there will be attachment of the lateral head of flexor digitorum accessorius. Slightly in front of lateral tubercle, attachment of lateral head of flexor digitorum accessorius. Anterior tubercle will provide attachment to, here it will provide attachment to the short plantar ligament. And the space, this triangular space in between these 3 tubercles will provide attachment to the long plantar ligament. Medial tubercle once again will give attachment to abductor hallucis, and it will give attachment to flexor retinaculum, and it will give attachment to flexor digitorum brevis muscle, and it will give attachment to plantar aponeurosis. Lateral tubercle, abductor digiti minimi, and in front of lateral tubercle, lateral head of flexor digitorum accessorius. Anterior tubercle, there will be attachment of short plantar ligament, and this triangular area, long plantar ligament. Then we come to medial surface. Now on this medial surface, first we'll finish this surface. The medial surface present below the sustentaculum tali. This is the projection of sustentaculum tali. Below that, this surface, medial surface, is having attachment of medial head of flexor digitorum accessorius. On the margins of this sustentaculum tali, there will be attachment of number 1 throughout this entire margin from anterior to posterior. attachment of the fibers of deltoid ligament. So entire superficial fibers of deltoid ligament will be attached here on the entire margin of sustentaculum tali from anterior to posterior. Second structure, on the anterior margin of sustentaculum tali, there will be attachment of the spring ligament, that is also known as plantar calcaneonavicular ligament. In the middle part of this sustentaculum tali margin, there will be attachment of tibialis posterior tendon. And in the posterior part of this sustentaculum tali, there will be attachment of medial talocalcanean ligament. So 4 structures are attached on the sustentaculum tali. Once again, on the entire margin, there will be attachment of the fibers of deltoid ligament. Anteriorly, there will be attachment of the spring ligament. Middle part, there will be attachment of the tibialis posterior tendon. And posterior part, there will be attachment of medial talocalcanean ligament. There will be a groove which is present just below sustentaculum tali. And this groove is for the passage of flexor hallucis longus tendon. Flexor hallucis longus tendon. And the tendon of flexor digitorum longus will be related to the outer margin, this margin of sustentaculum tali, that is flexor digitorum longus tendon. Then we come across to the last part, ossification. Ossification of this entire calcaneus will be secondary center of ossification. Now this secondary center of ossification will take place at around 6 to 7 years of age, fused by 14 to 16 years. And here we finish the entire calcaneum.